The Mwea Irrigation Scheme was started way back in the 1950s as a paddy production scheme. From an initial 2,000 hectares, the scheme has undergone expansion to the current 6,000 hectares of structured irrigation system and a further 3,000 hectares of informal irrigation, which caters mainly for crops such as maize, beans, tomatoes, and peas. The scheme produces about 42,000 metric tons of rice annually, which accounts to about 80% of the local production. Poor management has seen rice production deteriorate over the years, leading to huge importation of rice from Asian countries.
Issues of bridging the production that we have and what is to be imported, so that really we import at the right time when we think we need extra from outside.
In the past, most of the rice was milled here at the government-run Mwea rice mill. Today, however, the mill looks deserted. Not because there is no rice to mill, but because most farmers have decided to take their rice to privately owned mills due to what they term as unfair prices from the government mill.
Mwea rice mill indeed has been operating under capacity, and this happened after the liberalization of the rice sector.
One such mill is the Nice Rice Mills. It is a beehive of activities, a complete contrast of what we saw at the government-controlled Mwea Rice Mills. Here, farmers are charged only 2 shillings and 50 cents to mill a kilogram of rice. And after milling, they store their rice right here, as well as use the facility as a market for their rice, free of charge.
Hapa kuko na biashara nzuri, sababu tunasagia hapa, tunanunulia hapa, halafu tunausia hapa. Customer wanakuja kutoka mbalimbali.
According to the production manager here, the Nice Rice Mills was started mainly to, quote-unquote, save the farmers from what they termed as oppression from the government-owned mill.
Sisi tunaingilia pahali ya milling. Manake wakati wa soko huru ilipoingia, mambo hapa ilisambaratika na mashini nyingi kama ile ya Mwea Rice Mill na ingine zikakwama.
Not everyone here is a farmer though. Others are business people who buy paddy rice from the farmers and mill it. Besides rice, here at the mill there are different byproducts including husks and bran bought by livestock keepers.
Byproduct ambayo tunaweza kuuza ni ile ambayo inaitwa fine blood. Na hiyo fine blood ni ile ambayo imetoka kutoka kwa brown rice. Maana watu wengi wanapendelea ile kitu nyeupe, inatubidi tuondoe hiyo ngozi. Na kati ya Afrika ya kuondoa hiyo ngozi ndio tunapata fine blood.
The National Irrigation Board, however, says plans are underway to refurbish the Mwea rice mills to bring it back to its former glory.
The National Irrigation Board is putting in a lot of effort towards reviving the mill in terms of improving the milling quality and also diversifying by doing value addition.
It was back in 2010 when the World Bank released 560 million shillings to give the Mwea Irrigation Scheme a makeover in a project involving building and upgrading of feeder roads, canals and water gates. And this year, the Japanese government gave a 13 billion shillings loan for the expansion of the scheme. Both projects are currently underway.
Now the water that you can see flowing right behind me feeds about 9,000 hectares of rice fields as far as my eyes can see right behind me here. Farmers here have a lot of expectations that when the upgrade is complete, the production will double. Let's go and see how far the upgrading has gone.
The groundwork has already started here. The masons and the casual laborers are working on the clock to ensure that this project is over in time for the next planting season. The project is being carried out by a Chinese contractor who we are told is very precise to detail to ensure these structures stand the test of time.
One is improving the efficiency through rehabilitating what is already existing, lining the canals to reduce wastage along the way, capacity building of farmers and also of staff who are managing the system. The same case, the Japanese assistants will improve the production through looking at issues to do with marketing.
Before we work on any canal, we make a temporary diversion of the water, which is therefore really the farmers have not been affected because we are doing some diversion, we are excavating temporary canals.
Poor water management is a concern here. With the old canals, water would flow into homes neighboring the scheme and some overflowing into feeder roads, making the area inaccessible. The new canals will make sure this does not happen.
By doing this, where we have the lining, then what will happen is that we will have reduced the losses through evaporation and also through the seepages, because some of the areas have been enclosed.
And it is not just the canals that will get an upgrade. The infrastructure here, especially the roads, are in a pathetic state. Most farmers are unable to transport their crop from the fields using vehicles and thus opt to use donkeys, a most preferred option as it seems.
If we are richer, we'll be in a position to make good roads and everything.
To ensure that the dry season does not affect production, the upgrade also involves construction of a reservoir tank where water will be stored for use in times of need. The farmers are hoping that this water will also be safe for domestic use.
Our expectation is that as they're expanding the irrigation scheme, they also look for ways to purify the water, because Mwea is known for waterborne diseases. Yeah.
The upgrade and expansion of this scheme, which serves over 6,000 farmers, is expected to double rice production. Currently, Kenyans consume about 300,000 tons of rice annually, with Mwea Irrigation Scheme producing about 42,000 tons.
Kama ile demu iko huko itakuwa nini, itajengwa na iwe ya maji itakuwa kwa mingi hapa, na watu watakuwa kwa wakipanda, wakipalilia vitu kwa wingi. Na kwa hiyo output itakuwa kwa mzuri.
Farmers here are overjoyed because this project is what they needed, not to just take their rice production a notch higher, but also help them engage in other activities such as horticulture farming. The farmers here toil and take care of their produce in equal measure. It is that time of the year when rice is the only language they speak. And on this day, several farmers are harvesting their produce, ready to be taken to the mills.
Most farmers here in Mwea have harvested their rice and they are bringing it to the rice mills, at least to see if they are going to get the value for their produce. Let's see what they are up to.
From sunrise to sunset, these farmers are preoccupied with drying their rice before it is milled. This is because poorly dried rice usually crushes or breaks, thus lowering its quality. So, grain by grain, sweep by sweep, and turn by turn, it is the hope of getting a good price for their rice that keeps them working under the hot sun.
Inatufaidi kwa kuwa tunapata faida na tunaweza kujiendelesha kimaisha.
The milling center is also busy. There are those who are here to mill their rice, those who want to buy the milled rice in bulk, and those who are helping in packaging the rice. And so as the rice stands in the mills, they too are counting their shillings. But there is a downside. This rice may not get a market.
Tumefanya ile kazi ile ngumu sana. Na wakati ukifika wa kufuna, sababu hiyo mchere ingine iko hapa nyingi, mchere unashuka. Sasa badala ya kuuza wakati kama huu kilo 150, sasa tunauza na 110.
These farmers depend on rice for their livelihood, and they believe that when the government imports rice from Asian countries, it sabotages their chance of taking a dime home.
Tangu serikali ianze kuleta hii mchere ya nje tumekuwa na challenges mingi sana. Juu sasa watu wengi wanaona ni vizuri wanunue hiyo mchere ya kutoka nje kuliko kununua pisoli. Juu akilinganisha bei ya mchere ya nje iko chini kuliko hii yetu.
Tungeuliza serikali ifunga hiyo mchere kwa sababu kama saa hii hatuna mchere haiendi sana.
They are also concerned that high cost of fertilizer and seeds has pushed up the cost of production to up to 40,000 shillings per acre. But with imported rice flooding the market, these farmers may not get the same value for their produce. They reckon that they are poor millionaires.
Hii mchere yetu tunaweza kuwa watajiri. Lakini sababu ya hiyo mchere ya kutoka na huko nje ndio inatufanyia tuwe maskini, hata tukijaribu kuinuka hatuwezi.
I believe if a farmer can produce the rice at a cheaper price, also will be able to sell the rice at a cheaper price. That will be in a position to compete fairly with those other inputs.
Tunalima kweli. lakini ile chakula inatoka hapa, hata tukiuza upande wa nje inachukuliwa na pesa kidogo sana. Wale wanaenda kuuza upande wa nje, hao ndio wanafaidika kuliko sisi.
Additionally, rogue rice dealers have been blending the widely known pure pishori rice with other grades and selling it at cheaper prices. This, the farmers say, is driving them out of the market.
Wanakuja wananunua mchere, wanaweka hiyo mchere yetu kidogo, alafu wanaweka ile mchere ingine, wanachanganya, wanaosema ni mchere ya Mwea, lakini wanaharibu mchere ya hapa Mwea kwetu.
Most of the farmers you see here depend on the Mwea Irrigation Scheme for the production of their rice, and when they bring it here for drying, then later to the mills, they expect that it is going to get a market, but as it seems, that is not the case.
While rice farmers here complain of unfavorable prices for their produce, they hope that market access won't be a problem anymore, especially after the expansion of this scheme, which is expected to double rice production. As farmers ponder over what the future holds for them, there are those who are more than happy to have this project going on. These are the workers doing the construction. To them, this project has come at the right time, as it has provided them with employment opportunities.
We are repairing the whole structures of the whole irrigation system in Mwea. Mostly we are absorbing the local manpower from the community around. Yeah, especially the laborers and masons are from within.
Kwa siku tuna mafundi wanalipwa 500 na kuna kuanga na overtime. Sasa unakuta inaweza ingia kama 700 na maribara nayo wanalipwa 300 na still kuna overtime.
The project has employed 600 people. Patrick Washira is one of them. He says he hasn't had a stable job for a very long time. And so with every foundation and fine work he does here, he knows he won't sleep hungry.
Hii kazi ya mtaro imetuletea manufaa sana kwa sababu wengi wetu kuna watu hawana kazi. Unajua wakati huu sasa ni wakati wa mchele. Mchele bado hauja komaa kiwango fulani. Kwa hivyo watu saa nyingine unakutanga hawana kazi. Sasa hii kazi inatusaidia sana kwa hii mwezi.
His concern, however, is the inconsistency in the ongoing expansion works, noting that sometimes when the project is put on a hold for a while, they are forced to venture out for casual jobs elsewhere, opportunities that don't come easily.
Ingefaa watengeneze wamalize yote. Juu unajua saa nyingine wanatengeneza nusu wanawacha. Kaukarabati kidogo ndio hata tungefaa wakaakae kama hata ni miaka 3. Watengeneze yote.
Besides employment opportunities, this scheme has seen farmers who are not interested in rice farming grow other crops by using pipes to draw water from the canals into their farms. Some of this water is also used for other domestic chores.
Mwea as a scheme contributes quite a bit to the economy of Kirinyaga County and to the national economy. So by ensuring that the farmers are able to produce in Mwea, it is good for the food security and also for the economy.
This is I may say it's a community project to some extent, and one thing is that the farmers around this place are very appreciative about the project, and they are very expectant once the project is complete, there will be an increase in their production.
This clearly is a win-win situation for everyone here.
It is one of the biggest rice-producing schemes in East Africa. In fact, here in Kenya, it accounts to about 80% of the local production. This is to mean that the government does not really need to spend so much money to import rice from Asian countries. And by so much money, we mean 7 billion shillings annually. So with the expansion of the Mwea Irrigation Scheme, will the government continue feeding the country with imported rice as the rice at the Mwea Irrigation Scheme continues to rot in granaries, or are the numbers expected to come down? This is an answer we all want to know, don't we? Ruth Mutegi at the Mwea Irrigation Scheme in Kirinyaga County.